One goal in his last 10, but still starts over Tammy Abraham, despite the latter's 2-2. Goalkeeper Mark Bizot back from his FA Cup suspension. Young forward Aston available again after a knock in training. Well, Don, your focus on a player making his 50th start for Wolves.
Yeah, look, whenever I've seen Wolves and he's been playing, he has been one of the bright sparks, because it's his ability to take a player on, to carry the ball. I think lots of attention on young Mateus Mane, but I'd be encouraging Wolves to get the ball to him and encouraging him to be brave in Aston Villa's half. He could make some things happen. As for Unai Emery, big decision up front. Is he going to stick or twist? Well, Ollie Watkins stays in the lineup, and I understand why. Look, he's being judged on some sensational recent seasons, but 8 goals in, I think it's 23 starts. It's not bad at all. And his running power, his movement, it gives all Premier League defenders trouble. So I understand the reason for keeping him in the team.
Well, there have been some signs of Wolves' recovery, but not enough ultimately to probably give them a chance of survival. But pride still at stake. What better pride than a win over your relatively local rivals? For Unai Emery, chasing win number 100 as Villa boss. What an impression he's made in the Premier League, but still that pressure of trying to keep Villa in European football, and most importantly in the Champions League. Well, another wet night in Wolverhampton, and the drama of that 2-2 draw with the league leaders. What about on this Friday night? As away we go, Molyneux still awaits his first league win of the campaign, but it's been a while since Villa last won here as well, so what will give? Don, you must say, well, I must say really, when you think about the game against Arsenal, the pressure was on the visitors in that game, and the pressure again on the visitors tonight.
Yeah, 100%. It's an opportunity for Aston Villa to give themselves a 9-point cushion over Chelsea and Liverpool in 5th and 6th. That is huge with just 10 games to go after tonight. It's an opportunity not to be missed for Aston Villa, but Wolves will try and make it hard.
Now there will be a free kick. Range, Dia pleading his innocence.
Well, I think he's bought this by stepping across. Look, that little step there is what initiates the contact. I do think Dia feel a little bit hard done by there.
Dia not particularly pleased. It's a free kick for Villa to defend after Ronaldo's put under pressure. Martinez waits.
It's all about, you've got to have a shot and you've got to hit the target here. It's greasy, it's slippy. You've got to try and test Martinez, the Aston Villa goal.
Will it be the youngster to have a crack from here? What about Hugo Bueno after his stunning strike against Arsenal? And they're the one most interested in this one. Up to now, the youngster about from this set piece. It was awkward for Martinez, but wide.
Yeah, I can understand what he's trying to do, but it's going to take something spectacular. Trying to curl it with the inside of your foot from there. Martinez was in control.
Those conditions have been tricky. The pace in the end.
Hit the target to make it tricky for the goalkeeper.
Pressure on Konza, who may be fortunate to win a free kick there.
Yeah, I think it's a genuine. I don't think there's not even a tackle, but when you're chasing a player and you stand on the back of his heel, there, left heel, referees will always penalise it. He took a risk, didn't he? Aston Villa captain.
It's an interesting one though, when you take somebody's boot off, technically touching them. For Konza. Just like the Villa players every couple of minutes. Forced backwards by Wolves, but then the direct ball towards Watkins. Makes something out of those sort of situations. And now Sancho to pick it up. Not quite. Konza. Can't look after it, so Bellegarde will move it wide. Sure. Lashed forward. Trying to find Armstrong as a loose pass in the end.
He's so quick, Jackson Chacha. I wish he would have belief in himself. He's one of the fastest players in the Premier League, but I rarely see him take defender on.
Strong season for Villa right back. And then they went on that long winning run. It's been November and December. Struggling for back-to-back wins in recent weeks. He moves it wide. Chachua. There's the open space to run into. But doesn't do so. That's another loose pass.
This player is so low on confidence. I don't think there's a thought in his head to go and attack the fullback. I don't really understand why. Pray for those situations when you're a quick player.
Wisconsin. Emery from rotating his left back is Dina tonight. Hanson wants to be named. Dia. Louise has shooted straight into that from the midfield. Gash. Sancho. Expectation that he would start tonight. Dina. Torres, who's passing from the back. That's important for Villa, the absence of Tielemans, you would say. Ability to progress the play. Torres again. Louise. Sure possession for Villa.
Not particularly going anywhere with it. The Wolves are going about this so far.
What about that? From Rodgers. Watkins. Good early chance. Went with his right. And the chance disappeared quickly. Mascara in the way. Dia. Dina. This is a bit sharper from Villa. Louise wins the first corner.
The first big chance of the game falls to Ollie Watkins, and I spoke about his movement, and this is the reason. Bends his run, pulls away, keeps himself onside. It's a brilliant movement, but just didn't have the conviction to take it onto that left side away from Mascara. Get the strike. The minute he tries to go with the outside of the right foot, gives Mascara a chance. Opportunity missed.
Corner. Louise with that in. There's a free header as well. Goodness me, Carl Torres.
Well, it's poor all round. The defending is absolutely abysmal here. Free as a bird, just simple move. But the header's abysmal too. He lets Wolverhampton Wanderers off the hook. Has to be doing better. And he knows it.
It's an opportunity for the centre back. They'll have a corner on the opposite side. Such a short option, Dina to take. And Dina to swing it in again. Trouble for Wolves once more. And two awkward corners for them to defend, and they're one of the best sides when it comes to defending set pieces this season.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it, would you? Defensive record overall. They do generally just defend set pieces pretty well. See that?
And nobody conceded fewer goals on set pieces than Wolves. Unbelievable for the side bottom in the league. It's usually something we look at as a problem for relegation sides, but
you saw the number from open play as well, and already Ollie Watkins has had a big chance. Open play. And that's the way it is, unfortunately, for Wolverhampton Wanderers. For them to get points in the Premier League, everything has to go right for them. We had examples in the last two games. Went right for them against Arsenal. Hugo Bueno scored a worldie, then there was a mistake that they capitalised on. It went wrong for them at Selhurst Park. Missed penalty, red card, last-minute goal. And those are the margins for Wolves. Everything has to go their way.
Scoring a big issue as well. Just 18 goals scored this season. That's 10 fewer than the next side. Here's Belgar to slide it through, and Chua was on the front foot, then hesitated. That's not a foul. To Craig Dawson. Sancho. Cash. This is a derby, even though they'll have a poor record on this ground, they know a win is imperative. The sides chasing them, admitting really the title is beyond them, looking over their shoulder.
That's the next two fixtures. That's why this is massive tonight for Aston Villa. Chelsea and Manchester United back to back. Also might be the last two fixtures, which are Liverpool and Man City as well. So it's what happens. They want to seal that Champions League place before they play those next two games.
Just inside, Buendia finds Sancho. Complete from Sancho, but no ground made. Cash. Sancho to attack his defender. Zanana. Sancho. To Rodgers. Just lost the ball there. Belgar can bring it away. Coming up with him.
Yeah, it's about just taking more risks. Twice there, Bellegarde played it into Mane and he turned back. He wanted to really attack his defender.
Physical mismatch on the side between Renault and Onana.
It's just so strong, isn't it? It is a physical mismatch.
Scoring that first Premier League goal, but you know, something overwhelming for him.
Beauty, wasn't it?
Supporters would be cheering that goal, but the situation now will be only Arsenal to do them a favour on Sunday. Chelsea probably the side with the most work to do. It's up to now. But we've seen for the Premier League this season, you can't just look at a fixture and say that's going to be 3 points.
It's not played on paper, is it, football?
Is not happy. Cash was allowed to hold on to it.
Yeah. He'll end up getting booked. He's not careful. The manner of his protestations more concerning to Craig Dawson than the challenge. Holding on to the ball.
The supporters, referee just making sure the free kick's taken in the right place.
I always think it's good when a referee annoys a home crowd because it gets the crowd involved.
They want good atmospheres. Bueno to take. Forward. Back in. Oh, another free chance in the middle. That would have been some return for Zotti.
chance. We've just got the wrong player with respect. Probably on the end of it, not the most technical. He just doesn't get any kind of decent connection on that. What an opportunity. I'd be surprised if they create anything better than that tonight.
Best chances so far. Two defenders. So that Watkins chance.
Yeah, we're not 15 minutes in. We've had 3 big chances, haven't we?
So they would have to issue the team to turn form. Needed him to like to Koichi, who's been concentrating for Wolves. Second yellow card. Selhurst Park.
I just don't get that goal kick. I really don't get that. Your centre-half plays it to your full-back who's being closed down and has got nowhere to go. I just don't get it. Got away with it.
Give us body language. Mascara. Sure to lead it here. Martinez. Cash. Out Torres. Wendia. Sliding through to Rogers. It does reach him after a slip. Rogers trying to bustle his way through, and Andre, who did slip, comes out with it nicely. Armstrong playing through to Chachua. Collected. He wanted it in behind, but
Yeah, but nevertheless, he still should have the ability to control the pass. It's behind him a little bit, but brilliant work from Andre, because initially he's in trouble, he slips, but he recovers really well. He's very composed, keeping hold of the ball as well.
Concert. Torres. Cadinho. Chris Louise to Rogers. Dia. Rogers. Banana. Cash. Sancho. Back to Cash. Cash. Decent ball in. And there you go again. Another chance for Villa, and it's Douglas Luiz. All people really arriving in the area.
Yeah, well, look, at least he gets the contact. The problem for him is it's straight at Jose Sarr, but he gets a good, firm connection on this, and a yard either side of the goalkeeper. And I think Villa have probably taken the lead there.
Wolves on this attack now. Bellegarde looks for Mane, but Martinez get there first. Douglas Luiz going close with that chance for Aston Villa. Didn't really see much game time at Nottingham Forest when he started again. And yet, key for Aston Villa at the moment with injuries. The on target.
Yeah, shouldn't be, should it really? At least 2 or 3 others that are on target, but you see the pattern of the game. Villa dominating the ball as we would have expected.
Close to his first return. Game in. Sancho. To Watkins. Villa trying to pick it up. Can release Mane here, doesn't. Apologises for it.
That's what I'm saying about being taking risks, really. Have a go at trying to make that pass. Even if it doesn't come off, if it does, the reward is massive.
The team with that license at the moment, considering where they are. The expectation, relegation is just a matter of time. Even with something being made in the shape of Adam Armstrong, in the championship or the championship goal scorer up front.
I imagine there's an awful lot going on behind the scenes at Wolves in terms of preparing for next year in the championship. Work really should be well underway by now, I would think.
The rain relentless. So Martinez goes long to Watkins almost. You see those sort of situations playing out almost in slow motion. Martinez looking for Ollie Watkins.
It's clever, the movement, and that is an outball. It's always an outball for a goalkeeper, a defender, a midfielder.
It's Cash. It's been forward a lot so far. Sancho sliding through, looking for Cash. Almost reached dear in the end. Getting moments here though, Villa. When you think about it, Wolves haven't played too bad in the first 20 minutes yet. Villa have had probably 3 very good chances.
Yeah, look, it's 3-1 in big chances, and he'll know how important the first goal tonight is going to be, particularly. Well, Wolves have only scored the first goal in the Premier League 4 times this season, just once under Rob Edwards, and they managed to beat West Ham 3-0 here, so massively important, the first goal.
That win over West Ham, at the time felt like 2 sides who were destined to be going down. Still have made some recovery since then, making Tottenham and Forest pretty nervous. Torres, Martinez. Torres into Watkins. In off the front. Digne. Back for Watkins. Digne continues. Cross comes Thiago Bueno. Watkins knows the pressure of trying to get into that World Cup squad. The players interested in that backup role to Harry Kane. It's Johnson. Catch. Good pressure from Wolves opponent also, bringing it back. Too pleased to get it back from Cash in that situation. It's the pressure from Wolves once more. Idea trying to roll his man.
It's a shame. He just did not need to make any contact when Deere was relieved, because he'd miscontrolled that. Wolves had the ball in a really promising situation.
Watkins went in. He caught there by Bellegarde. You can't believe it though. Stripping off. There's the pressure from Villa at the pitch. Watkins. Douglas Luiz. Sancho. Rogers looking for the corner. Too long all round.
And again, it's coming out from the back. I mean, it's a terrible ball. Scorer's just given Andre. Really have much of a hope of retaining it. Leads to another Villa shot.
Mane. Chance to slip it through to Armstrong. Sardinia. Dia. Dia to Dina, crossed in towards Watkins, breaks to Sancho. Still Sancho trying to find the room, and up goes Son. For the moment, Sancho, the shot was on. Salah just basically passing that straight to Martinez.
To Armstrong, that made his run, the ball never came. Salah delayed it, and then by the time he kicked it, Armstrong had stopped. I understand the frustration.
So no surprise to know that Armstrong's had the fewest touches in the match so far.
His team are not really seeing any of the ball, are they? Really?
Red versus blue now. If we see anybody with compass, ruler, knife, fork, spoon, and cutlery. Good morning. Girls for fitness of good morning, girls for fitness of London. Yes. After school today, red versus blue now. If we see anybody with compass, ruler, knife, fork, spoon, and cutlery.
Sancho,
Don't play with security guard like me.
well, Armstrong wants that ball played through, he's waiting for the pass. It just doesn't come to Armstrong again. As a striker, Don, that must be so frustrating.
Yeah, well, look, they're getting to know his game, he's getting to know their game.
Chachua, crowd frustrated.
He's going to pass it backwards, that's right. That's right.
Totti. But he's behind the ball. Sancho. Gomez. Bueno. Mane. Offside.
Frustrating. Really good pressing situation. The young man really eager to get beyond. Needs to a bit more awareness. Clearly offside.
Well, in the commentary box for the international feed tonight, Stilian Petrov. A bit of a Villa legend, it must be said. Great man as well, but he was in the Villa side who won here in 2012, which was the last time Villa won at Molineux when there were fans in attendance, because the win in 2020 was during COVID. That's how long it's been since Villa have won on this ground.
It's not been a recent happy hunting ground, but logic will tell you they'll never have a better chance of making inroads into that.
Bellegarde. Out to Bueno. There's the drive that the supporters are looking for. Let me find room. Joao Gomez swings that ball in away by Douglas Luiz. And Watkins, good hold up play. Douglas Luiz caught will be a free kick. Going back to that game in 2012, incidentally, up front for Wolves that day, Stephen Fletcher. Sky Sports' Dave Edwards in midfield, and up front for Villa, Darren Bent and Robbie Keane. They have Wolves in the side as well. What those guys are up to now, but
Robbie Keane scored, didn't
they've done 3-2 win for Villa. He's got 3 goals in that loan spell, 7 games played. Our manager, Robbie Keane. The other two, I think, went into the media. So the first for this this match. With the better chances, Wolves have had a pretty good one through Totti. Still, signs of frustration that they've experienced so much this season. Unbelievable at this point in a campaign. Haven't seen your side winning the league home.
Two forward passes there for Hugo Bueno. Armstrong is making some good runs, you know. T.S. Marnie likewise.
It's been frustrating. Obviously, the fact that Wolves did win one game at home, but that was against West Ham United. And when you think about all the games they've had at home this season, haven't winning too many of them, and that's been the big problem. When you think of away from home, they were leading at Spurs until right near the end.
It's just been a horrible, horrible season in every conceivable way. Home and away, in front of goal, goals against, literally horrible season. And that's the ramification that, first of all, he inherited a situation. He wasn't able to turn it around as quickly as he would have hoped, and now I think even the most optimistic Wolves fan will accept they will be a championship team next season.
It's Luis. Just trying to
I mean, if you're going to stop the game there, you need to be booking an opponent, because Wolves had a really good situation. I don't know whether he stopped the game because Buendia bumped into the referee or because of the foul, but either way, Wolves had the ball.
Buendia been too happy with the first half an hour. Decisions haven't gone his way. Totti. Gomez. The pressure from Rodgers. Let's get the free kick. Rodgers disagrees. This is a promising position here for Wolves to release some of their forward players with no hard checks back.
He's not neat and tidy though, isn't he? God, in possession of the ball, he's trying to make things happen.
Shot Bueno. Oh, and back it goes towards Armstrong now. Konza just got there.
Just in the nick of time for Aston Villa. Nearly a problem for Villa, but Konza just gets there in the nick of time and prods it back to the goalkeeper.
So far, goals for some passes here, Villa. Chill to that Armstrong. Challenge from Totti, and now out of position. Buendia. Still Buendia. No decisions going his way so far. Sancho, he gives it away. A loose pass always looks worse when the weather's like this.
It's the right idea. Just massively overhit. Play for the home fans here, trying to rally the team, trying to get them up. And that Aston Villa.
Nash. Chelsea, another goal in this first half. Sancho. Sliding it through nicely to Rodgers. And Rodgers not on the same wavelength and options to his left as well.
No, he's on the same wavelength, but the pass just doesn't happen quickly enough, and he's offside. It's, again, a wonderful situation. It's led to nothing.
It's the most passes Villa have had in an away game this stage, a match this season. But Mane won't quite reach that.
Good starting position for Emiliano Martinez.
Buendia. Sancho. Torres. Buendia. And yes, that is a goal kick. Right. Well, another pivotal weekend in the Premier League, you feel, with the games ahead of us. Tomorrow, Saturday night football, Leeds United host Manchester City, who will look to close the gap on Arsenal. Manchester United facing Crystal Palace in Sky Sports Premier League. That's one of the early kickoffs, with Brighton against Nottingham Forest and Sky Sports Tennis. And on Sky Sports Plus, there's Fulham against Spurs in that particular London derby. And then there's another London derby later in the day, a pretty important one, as Arsenal face Chelsea. And Sarr passing it out of play. People, I said not that long ago about loose passes in the wet weather.
Commentator's curse.
We won tonight. Sancho. Wolves had to wait until 2026 for that only win of the season in the league. And right, just too much work to do. Even so, supporters still expect their side to go out there. Good match it is, but Villa looking to get ahead here, and Onana would break to him. And now, Wolves looking to send it forward. Now Armstrong, can he look after this? He can nicely. Chachua has to keep looking forward. Too much on the ball in the box. It's going to reach Mane. Still Mane. Watkins.
Good little minute or two here for the home team.
Free kick. And guess who made the foul? Zia, who may just talk himself into a booking at some point.
It was a delayed awarding of the free kick. I mean, it did look like a foul. Look here. It's a little grab. It's a little lunge, doesn't get the ball, kicks him on the knee. It's a foul. conceded 9 set pieces, Aston Villa this season. That's about a third of the goals they've conceded.
The best defences in the league.
Absolutely.
Andre, good sorted. And his teammates will wait for him. So the coaching staff trying to point out. Take this free kick with 10 men. Armstrong. Only waiting, will that one come in? It does from Armstrong in the end. Another away. Villa trying to keep aggressive here. This communication is finds Cash. Wilson. Surely going to have to go long here, Villa. And again. Wilson. Gorgeous man trying to defend that ball.
Just catches him on the chin. Trying to hold him off. Just right arm on the chin. It was an aggressive press, wasn't it, from Mascara?
Full time for the Arsenal game. Almost one involved. Somehow from Ponza, but the right smile is one elbow. Thiago Bueno forward to Armstrong. It's back to Armstrong. Into Mane. Play to continue. Trying a one-touch football there, Wolves didn't quite work out. Andrews trying to win it back and does. Remember Robin was saying before the Arsenal game, the side could just take the gap as long as possible, as deep as possible, 0-0. Frustrate the opposition, they might get a bit nervy, and maybe that will work against Villa as well.
Like I said earlier, everything needs to go their way, and so far it has. Aston Villa have had several presentable chances that they haven't taken. The longer it goes, you suspect the more nervy Aston Villa will become.
No. To clear it down the line, hunting up. Something to do when it's wet.
See what you did there.
See what you did. There's no surprise the Wolves haven't scored at this point in the game. First 20 minutes, only Sunderland and Liverpool. Same number as Wolves, the fewest in the league in the first 20 minutes of games. Surprise, so they're in this. Here's Buendia. From Rodgers. No foul. And then Rodgers does foul. About 2 seconds later, with a little push from Mascara.
It must be frustrating. Look, he's not been in the game at all, has he, really? Morgan Rodgers. There must be an element of frustration. I mean, Mascara certainly is one that makes the most of any contact, isn't he, really? When you watch this, there's a little look, gets shoved, and then all of a sudden, it's not too clever, really, the reaction. In fact, it's quite shameful, if I'm honest.
Sometimes when you get pushed, your ankle hurts. How do you know about this?
Maybe a generational thing, maybe.
No ankle hurts. Rodgers, that's been the star of Aston Villa this season. To push them into the Champions League. They are the favourites for the Europa League. lost their way a little bit in terms of their attacking platform. The ball for Wolves.
Big 15 minutes in his way, really. There'll be elements he'll be reasonably pleased with, and elements he won't. I do think Aston Villa need to move the ball a lot quicker than they've done in this first half. Been pedestrian at times, hasn't it, with the centre halves on the ball for what seems like an age.
Just distracted by the fact that it's pouring with rain. Unai Emery does have a hood on that jacket. Such is the man's concentration right now. Very concerned at the way this half is ending. So let's have a free kick. Forward by Bueno. Great to Armstrong, not quite. Then Mascaras goes flying in again, and Pau Torres not happy with Mascara, who's not popular with the Villa players at the moment. Mascara does get a yellow card. It's Rogers back involved.
He does play on the edge. Plays on the edge. And he needs to control his emotions now. Discussion with his goalkeeper, not really sure what he's angry about. Maybe it's because he didn't feel he deserved a yellow card. He makes a challenge here, then he gets a block in there. I don't think that's worthy of a yellow card. To be honest, I don't think he deserves a yellow card for that. Absolutely unnecessary. I can understand his frustrations.
Well, half-time, no goals, but Pau Torres one of those to have an excellent chance in the first half. Ollie Watkins also with an excellent opportunity as well. Wolves' best effort on goal fell to the man returning to the side, Totti Gomez. There's still no effort on target for Wolves in this first half, but they'll certainly take this scoreline at half-time. That's Mascara. Is still debating with the officials after he picked up that late booking in the first half. He's had an eventful half, but we are lacking goals. Half-time at Molineux. Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Aston Villa 0.
Some great teamwork there, especially down the right flank with support on the overlap. Coverage of the Premier League on Sky Sports, sponsored by the British Army.
We put ourselves in a place we don't belong. Survival is a long shot.
Jurassic World Rebirth. Available now on Sky Cinema.
It could be you.
Becoming a dad is fantastic. Right now, life seems better than ever, and I want to take care of my family in the future too. So I'm sorting out my life insurance with Beagle Street. If anything happened to me, the mortgage would be covered, the bills would be paid, and Sam will get a good start in life.
Hello, Beagle Street. How can I help?
Hi, I'm interested in life insurance. What kind of costs am I looking at?
I'm confident it will cost less than you expect. Beagle Street is better value than many others. For example, a 32-year-old could get £200,000 of cover for under £6 a month.
Okay, sounds good.
And it's really easy to apply. You don't need a medical. I'll just ask you a few questions about your lifestyle.
Great. Let's go ahead.
At
Beagle Street, we look after our customers. That's why we've been voted best life insurance provider for the 3rd year running. And if you sign up today, you will receive a gift card worth up to £100. So take care of your family with our simple and affordable life insurance. Call 0800 247 247 or go to beaglestreet.com.
When you don't have time for dirt, reach for with a new scrubbing strip to effortlessly zap those pesky splats. Easier scrubbing, faster cleaning. Time's up for dirt with the just-in-time shine of Flash Speed Mop. Back to clean in a flash.
In a world full of noise and uncertainty, IG is the investment platform that backs you. Forget the dubious tips from that guy down the pub. Get real-time insights, analysis and tools. No more fat cat brokers clawing your gains. Pay zero commission on your investments. Switch to a platform trusted by investors for over 50 years. IG. Trade, invest, progress.
Welcome to my crib. Let me show you what I've done with the place. We got the fridge stacked. Oven ready leftovers.
Show off your savvy. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
Stride like a pro. Show your pride like a pro. Improve.
From Douglas Luiz in the box, and I think either side of Jose Sá, that's a goal, isn't it?
I think so. I mean,
skidding off the surface in this weather, you just think, but straight the keeper.
100%. If it's the centre forward, maybe taking that on, maybe Douglas Luiz centre midfield, you could probably argue, but either side of the goalkeeper is one in Villa.
Something that you pointed out as well, Lee, whilst we were watching that game, is that you felt that perhaps Wolves could have used Adam Armstrong's movement a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, Wolves have had no shots on target and haven't really looked a threat, but just watching him throughout the game on the big screen is that he finds pockets of space. He wants to play in between the two centre halves. He wants the ball in behind, and I don't know whether that's that. Just this one, for instance, he's pointing, put it in there, he wants it in space, he wants to run on. That's where he scored all his goals wherever he's been. Blackburn, Southampton, again, great little run. But do you put that down to lack of confidence? Do you put it down to I don't know, not having an understanding of being that new player that's come into the building. What would you say there?
I just think from Armstrong's perspective, keep making the runs. Because the one time they're going to play the ball forward, I think they've just had that reluctancy too. But I think in fairness, that first half, I think Wolves will be the happier team in the dressing room.
Okay, well, plenty more to do. We hope in the second half, goalless as it stands after that first 45 minutes. Chances, most of them falling for Aston Villa as they look to consolidate their place in those Champions League spots. Second half is coming up next.
If a normal holiday is a movie, a P&O Cruises holiday is a box set.
Caribbean holidays from 1499. P&O Cruises. Holiday like never before.
You can laugh what you want, but Arsenal.
Just going for a break.
No. Chelsea
hey,
basically
I'm just gonna throw it
out
out.
there. Liverpool.
Have a break. Have a kick
I
out.
don't think we Chelsea has.
Maybe it's time for something new. What do you think?
With Amazon, you get £3,000 every year towards career growth. It's more than just choosing a job. It opens the door to entirely new careers, creating opportunities at Amazon across the UK.
Nothing beats more time with the ones you love. That's why Joe left a gift in his will to Cancer Research UK. Gifts in wills fund over a third of our work, so we can keep making progress, find new ways to outsmart cancer, and save and improve the lives of future generations. Join those pledging a gift in their will to Cancer Research UK. Together we are beating cancer. Find out more at cruk.org/giftsinwills.
There once was a woman who lived in a shoe. A size too snug, but what could she do? But that's not where her story ends. Thanks to a little help from her experienced friends, she got her score into much better shape and relocated to a box-fresh new place with room to grow and a mortgage to suit. Now she lives in a spacious 4-bedroom cowboy booth. Experience, better your score, better your story.
Hey Sainsbury's, usual big shop. Can you save me a few quid?
Well, Wayne, try your Nectar prices.
My what?
Your Nectar prices. In your Nectar app, you'll find personalised discounts on up to 10 things you love. It's personalised to you, Wayne. Too personalised?
Yeah, just a touch.
Agreed. We'll stick to prices. Save every week with your Nectar prices. Sainsbury's. Good food for all of us.
I've always considered myself to be a little bit savvy. Turns out, I'm not the only one. In fact, we're a right savvy nation. For maintaining our motors so they're road ready and ensuring that your holiday plans fall into place. Every day, people around the UK are making smart moves with... Now that's savvy.
Can resist the comfort. New Citroen C3 Aircross available now with 0% APR and £1,500 electric car grant.
The king has abdicated the throne. You are the queen of dragons. You have absolute power within your grasp.
Guinness presents Sky Sports coverage of the Premier League.
Well, tonight is the annual Wolves Foundation fixture, which highlights the brilliant work done across the city by the foundation. During the half-time break, Wolves Disability were taking on Aston Villa Disability at Molineux, a team that now supports more than 85 players. And tonight they were wearing jerseys they designed themselves to mark Rare Disease Day on Saturday. And Wolves have taken the victory in that game. Well, brilliant scenes at half-time at Molineux, but goalless at the moment after that first half. And Unai Emery still looking for his first Premier League win at Molineux.
Welcome back to the Coral Fan Derby. They're all here in top form. It's the lads with no tops. Here's the armchair experts giving their tactical knowledge. But they've decided to sit this one out with Coral's play break tool. They're all taking a break. Football fashionistas, the prawn sandwich brigade, hats off to them all. We're here for safer gambling. Coral, we're here for it.
Remember, Formula One returns with the Australian Grand Prix from Friday the 6th of March and the race day on Sunday the 8th of March. All of that available for you in the early hours on Sky Sports Formula One. So no goals in that first half. Lee, what are you expecting from this second half, especially when you're looking at Aston Villa and where they are on the table? They're going to really try and cement their place in those Champions League spots.
Yeah, they've got to be better. They really have in this second half. And I do put it down to, as that first half went on, listen, the conditions are treacherous, but it's taking care with the ball. I felt that they haven't done that the longer that first half's gone on. The likes of Sancho, I want to see more from the wide players. I want to see more from Morgan Rodgers that can, I feel, get Villa that winning formula, but at the moment I haven't seen it. It's been very, very scrappy.
Have Aston Villa been unlucky with their chances, do you think, or do they need to give it that one more step?
No, they've lacked conviction, I think, from a team that's in third in the Premier League, competing for Champions League spots. This is a team that needs to be more clinical in the box. It's as simple as that. They've had the chances, and challenges generate the same sort of chances in the second half.
We saw it against Arsenal with Wolves. They had a brilliant comeback. Aston Villa needs to be careful of this Wolves side, don't they?
They do, and that's the thing. I mean, it's a scary scoreline, isn't it? And Wolves have got nothing to lose. I mean, listen, Villa have got something to gain, and this is where the pressure's probably going to be on Villa more so in this second half. They have to come out and perform.
Let's hand you back over to your commentary team for the second half. Don Goodman is with Seth Hutchinson.
So no changes from either side. The break, and Wolves failing to score in the first half of a Premier League game for the 22nd occasion this season. A lack of goals seen for the home fans to applaud and cheer, I should say. Continues in this one. Aston Villa now 5 away matches in a row, which they've kept a clean sheet in the first half. It equals a record under Unai Emery, but ultimately tonight is the 3 points that matter. A big second half, you feel, particularly in Aston Villa's case, playing first this weekend when it comes to the Champions League race. They may be in here. Sancho starting at half, finds short in the middle.
Yeah, look, I would expect a very fast start to the second half from Aston Villa. They have to get a bit more, play with a bit more tempo, a bit more urgency. I feel the longer it goes, more level, more stress is going to be on those players.
Dia, stuck it by Chechua. Now, Mane. Fresh air, really. Bellegarde. Guessing there's more volumes tonight. Chechua. Again, and Bob Edwards had his in his hands.
What I would say is Aston Villa do most of their scoring in the second half of games, and that's everybody connected with Aston Villa is going to be hoping continues here.
So keep that in play, just let the process from the home support. Dia. Well across his body, Buendia staying down again. On deaf ears. Now Villa have it back, so Buendia get back up, he's slapping the ground in frustration. He's not in a good way here, Buendia. His side on the attack. Cash. Good ball in towards Watkins. Buendia gingerly getting to his feet.
Just wonder whether or not he may have been in that area when the cross came in. Had he not been floor injured?
Just thought for a second Buendia might be in really big trouble. He's still limping.
Closed down really quickly. Clearly wins the ball, Andre, but there is a coming together after the ball has gone.
Shows in conditions. When you see that for the first time, you think it would be Andre would be in trouble, but it's Buendia. It's one of the worst. Andre in there trying to pick up the play. Scara. Up the pitch. And there is Unai Emery. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, there's a lot of rain on that here in the first half.
Modern dressing room. Surely they've got hair dryers in there.
I think old dressing rooms had hair dryers, didn't they? Usually from the manager.
That is true. There have been half a hair dryer from Unai Emery. His team need to step things up here.
Still Villa. Side third in the Premier League at the moment. As far as goals scored this season, same number of goals of Newcastle and Sunderland in 11th, 12th in the table. Just one more goal than Spurs and Leeds.
I think it's a recent run, isn't it? Just 5 goals in the last 7 Premier League games. There's really knocked that ratio down. Shot conversion rate fallen off a cliff at just the wrong time of the season.
Chasing after that. So it's all about timing. You think it was a tricky start to the season for Aston Villa, and then that sensational run of form, that winning run, but just on reminded at half-time, the fact most of those wins were by 1 goal. Had some screamers in there as well from outside the box. I'm telling you, just lift that hood up. It'll all be okay. Right now, though, there will be a story for Villa. Story in recent weeks. To leave it late on a 20 home against Leeds United. Rodgers. There's a strange sport in the fact that talking about Aston Villa in this way, yet they are third in the Premier League and certainly would have taken this position at this stage of the season, but it's about how you feel right now, and right now it's Wolves frustrating them. It's Bellegarde. Turning and trying to slide it through. To Armstrong, maybe to Leno.
I think this was for Armstrong, but hit Arne on the heels, didn't it? To the way.
Buendia does get the free kick. And a booking here for Armstrong.
He is just a fraction late. Catches Buendia on the top of the foot there. Painful, those ones.
A pretty painful match for Buendia thus far. He'll go through all of this and then substituted. As Armstrong. Bueno gets the break. No handball. Armstrong. Joao Gomez, can he play through to Armstrong? Doesn't. It's Andre. Chachua. Too much on that cross, looped towards the back post. Totti, urged to shoot, sets it up. And falling in was Bellegarde.
Oh, that is a terrible defensive header. Matty Cash gets it horribly wrong, right back into a dangerous area, and the shot very nearly picks out Bellegarde, doesn't it? The far post.
Wolves have won 4 of their last 6 Premier League home games against Aston Villa. And now, some man marking.
It's going to be interesting who he gives the ball to here.
Just think in these sort of situations, the referee should just toss it up in the air.
Old-fashioned drop ball.
Should be Wolves'. That's the case. Mascara. Bellegarde. Armstrong again calling for the ball play first time. Bellegarde hooks it round towards Armstrong, who battles for it. It worked out quite nicely in the end. It opened up for him momentarily. Andre. Totti.
They've had a chance to shoot, and they end up in their own half. I don't really understand it. You're so low on goals. Whenever you get an opportunity to shoot a goal, you really should.
They're trying to take it quickly, but wanted to show the yellow card in the end. Buendia, yellow carded here for persistent infringement.
Persistently in the action, isn't he? And on the receiving end and dishing it out.
Totting up the fouls in this game. And later. To take free kick. Set pieces for Villa. Here's Cash. Gets that ball over to Sancho. Won't quite get there. Jadon Sancho so hotly tipped to be star player for a club and country. He's a teenager coming through. Good reception for the home support after Pearson suffered online this week. No excuse for it, really. Here's Mane. Chachua. Mane wants it played forward, but Chachua has to go here. And that's not a bad ball, hidden away by Cash. Who landed awkwardly.
Well, just in a flash there, why, oh why, doesn't Jackson Chachua do this more often? When he gets the ball. It's to burn, 1v1. Kick half a yard, good delivery. That's the best version. Jackson Chachua. Gomez penalised for that. under constant pressure, and it just hasn't happened.
Fact has the game has worn on. We've seen more of the ball. Mane to get that during the end. Has to be careful here. Such a bold player to take his opponent on, but Buendia did well. Seen tonight Wolves' struggles really again in front of goal. No player has scored more than 2 goals this season in the Premier League.
The Wolves as a team have only scored more than 1 in 4 Premier League games. It's not making it difficult.
Has got away from Bellegarde, who tries to hide from the referee. No hiding. Yellow card.
This is the easiest yellow card of the night, isn't it? Putting a player back like that.
About Buendia just coming off, but it was going to be Sancho who was going to make way shortly. Here's Dino. Sancho. Will make their changes now. Douglas Luiz is set to come off. He's gone across to take this corner. So I'll let him take it. It's the last action of the game. Doesn't mind trying to score from corners. Douglas Luiz, and up goes Alana. Over it goes.
Once again, Aston Villa just drifts into space, unmarked. I mean, fortunately for Wolves, it's just a fraction too high. Can't keep the header down.
The changes made. Sancho coming off. So Bailey on. These 2 players likely to be interchangeable as this end of the season continues. And Douglas Luiz making way. And Ross Barkley coming on, the man who played under Rob Edwards during that season that Luton Town were in the Premier League. But this is our manager tonight.
I suspect the instruction from Unai Emery will be for those two to inject some tempo and some urgency into the passing and the movement from Aston Villa.
Substitutes making an impact for Aston Villa. The Arsenal might have matched that this season. Now, Joao Gomez. Chachua. Clicks that ball in, that's good to Armstrong.
Oh my goodness! Wolves lead. That's come out of nowhere. My oh my. My oh my. Goodness me. Oh my goodness. This is oh.
Leads to this. In the first instance that gets the ball out to him, but he doesn't stop running the midfielder. And I don't know whether Adam Armstrong means that touch to be for Joao Gomez or whether he's trying to control it for himself. Either way, it doesn't matter because the midfielder is following up. And it is a beauty of a strike. No chance.
Not this slide.
It's a pure strike, it's an accurate strike. Is it a game-winning strike? Long way to go. Certainly has done Wolves chances absolutely no harm. What a strike. His first of the season.
First goal for a year. Wolves doing it again against fancy favourite. Bueno. And all even calling for fullbacks really been progressive. You mentioned Chechu were there, it had a difficult first half. A good few minutes, and the ball played through and backpedaling Martinez. And did he keep that in the penalty? No, he kept it in. Kept it in, but again, the run from Mane, it's only the skid of the ball. Takes it away from the young man. Well, Villa with a lot of work to do now. Here's Bailey. All supporters want it on their side now. It's just to show something, even though survival is very, very unlikely. Just to at least hold alive. They've been more competitive, Wolves, in the last 10 games. They've only lost 4 in the last 10 games. This is a team that earlier in the season lost 12 all-pack games in a row. So they've become much more competitive. So, the miserable conditions. He knows his side. It's not the first time they've had to come from this sort of position to try a few things, and they're pretty good at doing it. And they need to do it again and keep going. Actually have to change anything, really. They've been trying to be fairly low block, fairly compact, making it hard for Aston Villa and trying to hit them. That will remain the same for what remains of this game. And in this point, she gets Arsenal. She'll pull run back to make it 2-1. Here's Bailey. Rogers goes down. Doesn't appear. Gomez, Nani, finding himself with a lot of room on the counter. Check to clear that. Totti clearly prods the ball away there. The other thing to add, Wolves only 3 clean sheets this season. They've all come in the last 10 games where they've been a bit more competitive. They give for another one here. When I think about the games I've done Wolves this season, they've impressed in all those games, and unfortunately not to come away with more points. Some games, I think of the game at Old Trafford, Manchester United, I mentioned the game at Spurs when they should have won in the end. The reverse of this fixture, only lost by the whole really from corner. They played well in that game. And 3 days later they played as bad as I've ever seen a Premier League team play here against Nottingham Forest. And that's what was going on back then. But as I said, just a bit more competitive nature about it. That's flicked on by Bellegarde when it dropped to Mane. Mosquera. Bellegarde. Mosquera, did that take a touch? Goal kick. He's kicked it against his own player. Can't afford to argue on a yellow card. The defeat to Crystal Palace in regular fashion, really. Very late on at Selhurst Park. I always think that penalty was saved by Henderson. Aston Villa.
works really well, don't they? Those two Brazilian midfielders hunt and they harry, and often they foul, but make fouls that don't go penalised in terms of yellow cards.
Well, that Wolves goal certainly would have been celebrated by Manchester United, Chelsea, and Liverpool supporters. Manchester United, as it stands, will have the opportunity to go above Villa this weekend. They'll lose this one. You have to send it in, though. Bailey. Cash. Bailey. Now Cash. In it goes from Cash. Too close to the goalkeeper. Massive gone out of play. In a corner. The ball deflected. João Gomez. They may have a case. Well, I'm going to make their customary left-back change shortly. It's coming on. Unai Emery, animated figure on the touchline. They're told to Tammy Abraham as well, who has a fabulous record against Wolves, including a hat-trick for Chelsea. And unsurprisingly, considering the conditions, an issue with the earpiece here. Don't tell Gary Neville. Well, midway through the second half. The one goal, and let's have a look at that goal again. What a goal it was.
Yeah, look, he's not, trust me, he's not in the side to be a goal scorer, but look, he's involved here. He's fighting, he's scrapping, he wins the ball back. He plays it out to Chachua, and then he doesn't rest on his laurels. He just drifts forward. He's always ahead of Ross Barkley. As that touch falls to him, that is a super composed finish from a player who is not used to scoring goals. There's the disappointment.
A reminder of the quality that Wolves do still have. We're talking about a Brazil international. Their midfield, as Abraham is on and Matson is on. Tammy Abraham, 2 goals in his last 2 games since he returned to Villa. And he doesn't mind this opposition. There you go. His favourite times of his career.
Every striker's got one. Or 2 or 3.
Well, we are waiting for Greg Clawson to return. I mean, if you are just joining the game now or joining it late in the second half, it has not stopped raining the entire time. Even then, affected the electronics of Unai Emery well. Pacing up and down. Caged animal, and it feel that way at the moment. So frustrated. Defenders take great joy of how things are progressing so far. So I can see it through just a second. League win this season. Greg Clawson's back. Things that referees have to deal with now.
Oh, Wolves. Hang on.
All those years ago. Patient and working. Any stoppage. Did to the end.
Hang on.
They took voice.
It up.
As Wolves supporters continually turn out to cheer their team on, even in the circumstances that to experience this season. just for a moment tonight to win. As the side who, as the crow flies, about 12 miles away. Here's Rogers trying to find Matson inside. Chachua does very well. Bellegarde send it forward to Mane. Taken by Torres. Here's Anana. Cash. Keeps on going, just getting in towards Abraham. That's not a bad ball. Bailey, shot blocked. Cash. Not that ball, Cash. He did. Celebrated as well. And Hugo Bueno. That's what it means. To Wolves, you're right. These players, they owe these fans, don't they? Opportunity tonight to give them a big night and to enjoy their weekend. So far so good. To give that man a big night as well. With Aston Villa links, came through at the club, played for them as well, but very much Wolves in his heart, and this will feel for him. Still a long way to go. Matson, came off Bellegarde last in the case. His way at the moment. Time to panic, just yet. To be annoyed at how long it's taken Wolves to get the ball back in play now. Unai Emery's playing. Turns nicely, and tap from Bailey. That's another clear yellow card. Does take the odd risk, doesn't he? Backs himself, to be fair. All the time gets it right. Well, it's been tough for Villa to take in regards to the injuries and really ripped out the heart of their midfield. Mascara helping it on. Setting up, but Bueno won't quite reach in. Continue to threaten. Brings a lot of first contacts. Yes, and Mascara. Cash. I spoke about that run earlier that Aston Villa had 12 wins in 13 Premier League games. A lot of late goals to get back in games, to win games. 11 have scored this season in the final 15 minutes of games. What would they give for one now? Including this time out against Leeds. Here's Bailey. Is on the pitch now. Banana. Torres. Rogers. Ooh, into good nick. To Barkley, good pass, Matson. Matson, saved. Ball's getting away. Cash. So Wolves can try and get this away. Hugo Bueno. They took the lead here for Wolves. Barkley, brilliant to pick out Matson. Just delays his shot to make it half a yard. Straight at Jose Sarr, and then they get lucky where it bounces Thompson again. There's Chachua. When he just surged forward, he can't hear, he wants it back. Guard couldn't find him. Instead, Rogers is in space, and Rogers is fouled. Rogers drags it round Mosquera. Rogers does brilliantly. Barkley comes on. Bailey, desperate. Gomez, with just grass ahead of him. Got a runner, there he goes, and he plays it to Armstrong, and conditions slowing that ball right up. Armstrong has Mane with him. Armstrong, Mane, onto Chachua. He's got time to send it in. The ball is sticking to the top. Rogers. To Rogers. Rogers deflected safely into the arms of Son. It's one of those, isn't it? The ball takes a deflection. It's just a heart in mouth moment. See Totti there. Yes. It's halfway to Cody. Watkins. Here's Barkley. Slides it through. Bailey. Still Bailey, ducks inside. And then Totti does it up. Totti is really up for this now. Now Gomez rise the challenge. The Wolves know their role right now. They know that Villa are desperately pushing it.
Yeah, well look, as a team, to get points for this group in this league, everything needs to go their way, and so far 10 minutes plus added to go, it has.
Canare is there to come on as well. Mosquera. Totti. Andre to Chachua. Gets it back. Chachua teasing ball in. Torres doesn't get much distance on it. Armstrong. Here's Mane. There was a touch, was there, on the way? Not quite.
Oh, once again, I wonder if something was said to Chachua at half-time, because he's so much more positive and aggressive in the second half. I mean, it falls for Mane. Can't keep his balance to get the strike away.
This is positive for Wolves. Tolu coming on, Bellegarde coming off, so Armstrong will stay on the pitch, Mane will stay on the pitch. In the same front line that started against Palace. And a good welcome for Kadari after the week that he's had.
He'll be a different option, won't he? A more direct option as an outball. Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Rogers. That's to manipulate his way through. It's high into the air. Comes up to Martinez. Here's Rogers. Now Andre goes down. It will be a free kick.
Well, it shouldn't be. It should be a free kick. These are the ones that frustrate players, and referees get sucked in. He's totally bought that. sure Tammy Abraham does. Look there, look. He falls over. Good play. And a reminder at this point in the game, the Wolves are also looking to exceed the lowest points total in Premier League history, which still belongs to Derby County. That is being matched as it stands, well, as it stood before kick-off by Wolves. I didn't want to mention that record. Getting close now. I was going to mention it afterwards. A point will match it. Gomez, strong second half from the home side. Andre. Mane. He goes on a dribble and quick feet as well. Created too much, Villa. Second half. Barkley. Matson. Rogers wants it. Stopped it by Mosquera. Set to come off, we understand. Matson. Rogers. Matson drives it in low, and it will be a corner. Wolves disagree. Santi Bueno, brilliant defending, makes a brilliant block that actually comes off Tammy Abraham. Should be a goal kick. This will be controversial if Aston Villa get anything from this. Clearly comes off Tammy Abraham last. Wolves so good at defending corners this season, but right now, Wolves will be on defending this one. We've got about 10 minutes to play, and more likely we'll be added time. Cash with the corner to the back post. That's another hit from him, not on target. He's high, slightly overhit. Just when you need a bit more quality. Aston. It'll be just his second Villa appearance to replace Ollie Watkins. Villa in need of at least one goal. The youngster did pick up a knock in training after making his debut against Brighton. Himself to the Villa support here by winning with a big contribution in his closing stages. And the pacing continues for Emery. Totti. Mane. Well, they've stood tall in this second half, the Wolves players. Yeah, I'm really disappointed in Aston Villa, I say. They haven't really, the odd minute here and there in the second half, been able to put Wolves on the back foot, put them under pressure, sustained pressure. And that's what I expected in the second half. Aston. Remarkably well there to retain the ball, get it back inside to Matson. And Pau Torres tussling with Tolo Rocadare, but Villa have it. Pau Torres, Matson. And did that come off Matson last? It didn't like it. That's the catch. And this time it's spotted. Double deflection. Tough result to take this would be for Aston Villa. How many late goals do you see in football? Opponents get tired and the pressure eventually tells. This is not over yet. I understand the nerves from those Aston Villa fans. I'm sure they came here, despite a poor recent record at Molineux, expecting more. They were hoping tonight to
good time on the count. Winning here ahead of their other rivals, and they face those rivals in their upcoming matches. Here's Matson. There's Chachur, who's had a fantastic second half. Mane beat his man to the ball there. It comes up. Time ticking on. Yeah, precious seconds. He's going to continue.
So, covered some serious ground. Gomez have been outstanding tonight, with and without the ball.
The Super League is in Vegas. As you can Leeds. He doesn't. At 11 p.m. if you want to catch that on Sky Sports World. Huge reception for Andre, recognising his contribution this evening.
Outstanding. Absolutely. Left it all out there. That's what you want as a fan.
Your signings. It's Cash. Something special here. That was clever. Matson. Shifted back to Rodgers. Still Rodgers. Find it through the shot now. Tolo Rocadare is away. Bearing down the goal.
Still kill it.
Shifts it across. Joe Gomez.
Oh, God.
No foul. 7 added minutes.
Wolves cannot afford this for this final 7 minutes to turn into a basketball game. It wouldn't be in their best interests.
He feels there should have been more. It's had 90 already.
Well, I remember the great course of went off, was it 3 minutes? So in essence, there's only been 4 added minutes, which, given all the substitutions and delays, I kind of understand this frustration a little bit.
Making that point again. Banana. Look back to that first half, they had some opportunities in the early stages. They were some of their best ones. Barkley. Thomas. Allison. Gets that ball in. That's what else that's coming up. Barkley. Gives it wide to Aston again. On to Matson. Matson digs out a fabulous cross. Saar got a touch to it. There's Mane, look at that for a touch. And he's tripped back out as well.
First of all, you have to say the touch from Jose Saar in the Wolves goal was excellent and really, really important. And then beautiful skill. Mane gets tripped. Again, precious seconds eaten up.
There's Mane, 18 years of age. Being bold and brave. And up comes Adam Armstrong, who's set up. Looks at the moment to be the winner. The second assist in just 5 matches for Wolves, as many as he had in the 48 previous games in the Premier League. And he's at Southampton, and he comes off. And so we can add another Gomez to the tally.
He's done a lot of unselfish running, Adam Armstrong, you know. Teammates didn't spot a lot of the runs, but worked his socks off.
It's all 4 that Gomez is on the pitch now for the closing minutes. It's Raul Gomez. And Mane trying to force his way through. Twist, catch again. For 3 points. Villa pushing for 1 here.
And even if they get 1, they're going to be left massively disappointed.
Challenge remains with Wolves. Mane should be playing through to Toro instead. Looks for Gomez. Cam Torres. To Allison. Can't keep it in play. Nice pass in the end. Allison really happy with the pass.
It's close. It's very, very close.
Well, when you see a Wolves performance like this, you wonder how they haven't got more points. Here's Barkley. Allison. Still Allison. Tricky. Again, running into Gomez. Skipper plays it forward. Torres. 4 more minutes. Whether to try and get anything from this. Torres is swinging in. Here's Cash. He sends it in again. Get it away of Totti.
Again, disappointing delivery. 5 Aston Villa players in the area waiting to get on the end of a cross.
Rodgers. Cash. No sliding in. Getting everything out there, Wolves, as they try and see this through. Cash to go long. Just in the area. Matson caught hold of it. I'm gonna get the break. No, off the line it was. Rodgers, still Rodgers, and it's into the side netting. It is a corner.
Oh, Mascara, it is the hero to the rescue. This ball bounces and bobbles all over the place. Ends up feet. Tammy Abraham quite see, but it's an honour. And Jose Sala takes the pace off it, allows Mascara to clear. Brilliant.
Corner for Villa, 97th minute. In goes the corner. Who is this going to fall to? It falls to Cash, helps it back in. Rocadara clears. Martinez sends it forward now. Rodgers. Away it goes again. And now Martinez is back friendly. And here's Mane. And all shots flying forward. Looking to seal the win.
2-0 Wolves. Amazing. Wow. Nobody saw this. Wow.
And this is why the Premier League is loved all over the world, because you've got the third place team coming to a team marooned 17 points from safety, and they've gone and done them, and deservedly so. You have to say that we've stood some late pressure, and then there's an element of good fortune about the win. Of course, Villa are chucking the kitchen sink, they leave themselves exposed, and Wolves get that all-important final nail in the coffin. It's a brilliant finish, by the way, on the swivel. And what a feeling for Rob Edwards, the Wolves players, the fans inside Molineux. Premier League strikes again. Prime Spot International. They're doing it again, Wolves. Twice in the space of a week or so. You see the show? They've done damage to the hopes of sides higher on the table. And for Aston Villa, a damaging defeat.
Wow.
For Molineux, a rare moment to have the massive smile. Joao Gomez with the opener in the second half. Rodrigo Gomez with a second in added time. Just a second league win of the season for the old goal to celebrate. It probably won't be enough to keep them safe. Sometimes in football what matters is getting one over your rivals. And for Aston Villa, this will be tough to take and opens things up for the chasing pack in the Champions League race. Football doing it again, with the underdog tonight coming through to win. The final score of Molineux, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Aston Villa 0.
Well, what an incredible result and performance from Wolves to get the victory over Aston Villa. But what does that mean for Aston Villa and their hopes of Champions League football next season? Izzy, first of all, a word on Wolves, because we saw the comeback against Arsenal, a really good performance there, but this top 10.
Absolutely outstanding from minute 1 to minute 97, 98. I thought that Wolves came with a game plan, they executed it well, they got up in Aston Villa's faces, they didn't allow them to play their game. You can see the frustrations on the players there, you know, a few exchanges going on, but I think it's just fully deserved from Wolves' perspective. The way that Rob Edwards and his staff set out that team, it was hunger, they were aggressive, and they really challenged the fact that Villa are under pressure at the moment, not performing, and they've gone and got their win to show for it.
Lee, you can see the disappointment on the faces of the Aston Villa players, but there is going to be huge disappointment for the Aston Villa fans as well. You said before the game you were a little bit worried. How worried are you now?
Yeah, I am. Listen, they're nowhere near the team I've seen this season. And listen, I know when you're on a good run of form and you're winning games, things just come quite fluidly and that they happen. But at the moment, I'm seeing a completely different side. I'm seeing a team that looks scared to create, players who are coming on and not making impacts. There's lots of things that I could pick out, and I'm really disappointed. I'm trying to not sort of wear my heart on my sleeve at the moment, because that is just not good enough. You know, you're coming up against a side who are scrapping to stay in the Premier League, bottom of the league, with one game going away from home in a big derby game. That is a big wake-up call for Villa. It's not good enough.
What did you think of Aston Villa's performance, Izzy?
I thought twofold. I think they were really poor in possession. I didn't think they got any of their players on the ball who need to be on the ball. The likes of Morgan Waters was quiet. They missed those 4 big chances in the first half, but you can't help but look at the fact that Rob Edwards and the game plan stopped Villa from doing what they wanted to do. He challenged the way that they set up, and he's got the result to show for it. But I think from Villa's perspective, I completely agree with Lee. I think it was a really dire performance. Don mentioned it a lot through commentary about being abysmal, and I think that's the perfect word to describe it. They look so disconnected. They've been so well coached in the last few years, but they're in a bad run, and they could end up paying for that massively.
You have to be pleased though for Rob Edwards, because when that second goal went in, his celebrations all the way down, and then even now when you see him cheering with his home fans.
Yeah, it's massive for Rob Edwards. You know, going into the club and making a big call of leaving Middlesbrough at such a crucial time, and he got highlighted of him leaving the club and going to Wolves, who are always going to be struggling. But credit to him, you know, wherever he's been, Rob, he will always give 110%. He'll make sure he's getting the best out of his team. Slowly, he's had to pick his way and find a way of starting to make Wolves stronger, more solid, going out to win games, trying to disrupt teams. That's what he's done. He's had that little bit of time now with the players. So credit to Rob. You know, he deserves everything he gets. Again, I talk about heart on sleeve. That's the man that does wear his heart on his sleeve, and he wants to win games. He believes that he can take Wolves out of the bottom three. It's a long shot, but having seen him tonight, having seen him against Palace, you know, they proved that they are turning a bit of a corner.
Okay, well, that was the first result of the weekend, and what a result it was as well for Wolves. There's a brilliant weekend of Premier League football coming up on Sky Sports. Liverpool, they'll now be looking to move closer to Villa in the table. They welcome West Ham. Then Saturday night football sees Manchester City travel to Leeds. They're, of course, hoping to close the gap on the league leaders Arsenal to 2 points. There's also 3 games that kick off at 2 o'clock on Super Sunday, which includes Manchester United against Crystal Palace. And for United, if they win that game, they'll go level on points with Aston Villa, but above them and into 3rd. All of that before a very big game in the Emirates. Arsenal hoping to extend their lead at the top of the table against Chelsea. Well, we said at the start of the day that this weekend could have implications at the top and the bottom of the table. So Aston Villa currently 3 points ahead of Manchester United. But as I mentioned, if Manchester United win their game, they'll go level on points, but above them on goal difference. Chelsea and Liverpool not far behind them. And at the bottom of the table, it doesn't move Wolves out of the relegation zone, but it does mean they surpass Derby's lowest ever points tally in the Premier League with their 2nd win of the season. There's more football to come on Sky Sports tomorrow. The Bundesliga is 2nd versus top as Dortmund take on Bayern Munich. You can watch that live on Sky Sports Football at 5:20. And on Sunday, it's a huge all-firm clash in the Scottish Premiership ties for 2nd against 3rd. Rangers against Celtic. That's live for you on Sky Sports Football from 11.